we study Kama Vajra Sobhana Citta. There are 24 such cittas. Now first the word Kama Vajra. So Kama Vajra means that which mostly moves about or mostly roam, that means mostly arise in the 11 sensuous realms of the sense sphere. Now there are 11 realms that are called Kama realm. 4 woeful states, human world, and 6 celestial worlds. They are called Kama. And the type of consciousness which mostly arises in that realm, that means in the beings of that realm, is called Kama Vajra. So for short we call sense sphere consciousness. That means consciousness that arises in the sense sphere. Sense sphere means 11 sensuous realms. And then we have the word Sobhana. Sobhana means beautiful. Here beautiful means accompanied by 3 good roots. Now there are 6 roots, you remember. 3 bad and 3 good roots. So these are called Sobhana because they are accompanied by beautiful roots. That means non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. In other words, non-greed means generosity, non-hatred means loving kindness, and non-delusion means wisdom. So those citas that are accompanied by these 3 roots are called Sobhana. Now, Sobhana is wider than Kusala because resultant consciousness and functional consciousness are also called Sobhana citas. They are also accompanied by 2 or 3 of these good roots or beautiful roots. So these these citas are called Sobhana because they are accompanied by Sobhana roots, beautiful roots, and they are called Kama Vajra because they arise mostly in the 11 sensuous realms. So it does not mean that they do not arise at all in the form sphere or in the Brahmas, and formless sphere, another kind of Brahmas. Some of them arise in those Brahmas also, but their domain, their place of frequent arising is the 11 sensuous realms. So they are called Kama Vajra citas. So when we combine these 2, we get Kama Vajra Sobhana citas. Up to now we have met what citas? Sobhana citas, right? Non-beautiful citas. That means just they are not accompanied by 3 beautiful roots. Among the 24 Kama Vajra Sobhana citas, there are 8 Kama Vajra Kusala citas, or Kama Vajra Sobhana citas are divided into 3 groups. One group is group of Kusala citas, the second group is Vipaka citas, and the third group is Kiriya citas. So Kama Vajra Kusala citas, there are altogether 8 of them. Now the word Kusala. In the commentary to Abhidhamma, the meaning of the word kusala is given as 4, and then it's stated that 3 are suitable here. So kusala means healthy, absence of disease. Sometimes kusala is used in this sense. Say, when the person wants to, like greeting nowadays. So when we greet people, we do not say good morning or good evening, but we say, are you well? So that is a usual way of asking one's health. So we Burmese also, when we meet with each other, we don't say good morning or good evening. We say, are you well? So in Pali, you may ask, are you kusala? So kusala means healthy, are you well? That is one meaning.
Right.
The second meaning is blameless or faultless. So kusala means not blamable by noble persons, or faultless, no fault. And the third meaning is skillful. A person, when we say a person is kusala in doing something, we mean he is skillful in doing that thing. When a person is said to be kusala in the art of playing, let's say guitar, then we say he is kusala in playing the guitar. So kusala means skillful. And the fourth meaning is productive of happy results, productive of desirable results. So there are 4 meanings to the word kusala. So in Pali language, the word kusala is used in all these four meanings. But we have to understand the meaning of the word according to the context. And the commentary said that among them, the first, healthy, the second, blameless, and the fourth, productive of happy results. These 3 are suitable here. So, what about us translating kusala as skillful? Many people nowadays translate this kusala as skillful, right? You read in many books, and this is skillful, skillful. Sometimes I also use skillful. But the translating kusala as skillful is not in accordance with the commentaries. So I think we should avoid translating kusala as skillful from now on. And Bhikkhu Bodhi is he is skillful. When he wrote about kusala and akusala on page 31, he said, such consciousness is called unwholesome because it is mentally unhealthy, morally blameworthy, and productive of painful results. That is for akusala. And then wholesome consciousness, kusala cita, is consciousness that is accompanied by the wholesome roots. That is non-greed or generosity, non-hatred or loving kindness, and non-delusion of wisdom. Such consciousness is mentally healthy, morally blameless, and productive of pleasant results. So he gave only 3 meanings approved by the commentaries. So we should avoid using skillful for the word kusala. And the word skillful, I think, say, according to commentary, it is out of place here. And the word skillful can have bad connotation also. You can skillfully kill a man. get away with it. So skillful sometimes can mean cunning or crafty. So it is not a good word for the kusala citta or the kusala karma. So morally healthy or not blameworthy or blameless and productive of good results or pleasant results, desirable results. So that is what is called kusala. Now, when explaining these words, the commentaries have a habit of doing acrobatics of etymology. They may cut the word in this way or in that way, and then they tell us the meanings of those. Although they may not be so useful, I think I must tell you how they explain the word kusala here. Now, kusala is a word compounded of ku and sala, or kusa and la. That is how the commentators try to explain it. Say ku sala, then kusa la. Now, when we divide it into ku and sala, ku means akusala, evil, because they are despicable. And sala means shaking and destroying. So kusala means something that shakes or that destroys the bad things, that destroys despicable mental states. And those are called kusala. That is one meaning of the word kusala. So in this meaning, the word is divided into ku plus sala. Ku means what? Despicable, contemptible. That means akusala. And sala here means to shake, and to shake means to destroy. So those mental states that shake or that destroy the despicable mental states are called kusala. Now, the second meaning is based upon the division of the word kusa and la. Here, kusa is said to mean akusala, and la means to cut. So those states that cut the kusa, which are akusala, are called kusala. So in this meaning, kusa means what? Kusa means akusala, evil, because they lie in the minds of beings in a despicable manner, and so they are called kusa. And those that cut, that chop off these kusas are called kusala. The third meaning is also based on the division as kusa and la. But in this case, kusa means wisdom, because wisdom can make an end of despicable mental states, akusala. So kusa, wisdom is called kusa. And la here means to take. That means to cause to arise. So kusa la here means those mental states that are taken by, that means that are produced by, that means that arise along with kusa, which is wisdom. So in this case, the division of the word is again kusa and la. Yet there is another meaning based on the same division as kusa and la. Here, kusa means the real thing, a kind of grass, like sawgrass. Have you seen sawgrass? They are sharp at both edges, and if you do not handle the sawgrass carefully, you may cut your hand. So here, these kusala states cut like sawgrass. That means sawgrass can cut your hand in two places. On each edge, you can be cut. So in the same way, the kusala or wholesome state can cut unwholesome state in two places. That means those that have arisen and those that have not arisen. Now, if you are familiar with the supreme efforts among the bodhipakkhiya, among the factors of enlightenment, there are four kinds of supreme effort. Two with regard to akusala and two with regard to kusala, right? You remember? Some of you remember, right? So the effort to get rid of akusala that has already arisen, and the effort to avoid akusala that has not yet arisen. So in these two ways, kusala cuts the akusala, and so wholesome states are called kusala because they cut like the sawgrass. So they cut akusala in two places, like sawgrass cut the hand in two places. Okay, these meanings are based on etymology, and cutting the word first in one way and then in another way. So, for us to note here is that kusala means that which is healthy, that which is blameless, and that which produces pleasant results or good results. So those are called kusala cetas. So you can understand akusala when you make the meaning opposite. So on page 31, in the guide, the comprehensive manual, and you read those. Okay, now let's go to the eight types of consciousness. Now these 8 types of consciousness are not difficult to memorize or not difficult to remember if you remember the 8 loba mula cetas. You just have to substitute something for something, right? They are what? Somanasa sahagata, with pleasure, and then with wrong view, unprompted, prompted. So here, substitute knowledge for wrong view, right? So here, the first ceta is with pleasure, with knowledge, and wrong. So you get the first ceta. So the first ceta is accompanied by pleasurable feeling, somanasa, vedana. And it is accompanied by jnana. Jnana means knowledge, understanding, wisdom. So jnana here means understanding the true nature of things, understanding things as they are. And also understanding that there is karma, that there is the result of karma, and that there is the result of being respectful to one's parents, and there is result of disrespect to one's parents and so on. So that is also called understanding or jnana here. So that means right understanding. So the right understanding is that there is karma and there is the result of karma. And then asaṅgharika, I mean unprompted, sometimes you may do without being prompted and sometimes you may do with being prompted. So there are, with knowledge, two types of consciousness. One is unprompted and the other is prompted. Number 3 and 4 are what? Again, they are accompanied by pleasurable feeling, but here there is no jnana, no understanding, no knowledge. Sometimes even we do merit without thinking much of it, carelessly maybe. So in that case, there may be no jnana. Sometimes say we give something to somebody. We don't think of anything, or we just give it. So then jnana may not be with that. So in such a case, there is jnana with you without knowledge, consciousness. Also asaṅgharika means asaṅgharika and sasaṅgharika, unprompted and prompted. So we get four types of consciousness accompanied by somanasa, pleasurable feeling. If you understand the first 4, you understand the other 4. Just substitute indifferent feeling for pleasurable feeling. So just substitute upekha for somanasa. So accompanied by indifference and with knowledge, unprompted, prompted. And accompanied by indifference without knowledge, prompted and unprompted. So you get 8 types of kama vajara kusala cetas. And when do these cetas arise? On page 48, someone joyfully performs a generous deed, understanding that this is a wholesome deed, or understanding that there is karma and there is the result of karma, and spontaneously without prompting. In that case, there is this first ceta. Someone performs the same good deed with understanding after deliberation or prompting by another. So then the second ceta. Someone joyfully performs a generous deed without prompting, but without understanding that this is a wholesome deed. And someone joyfully performs a generous deed without understanding after deliberation or prompting by another. So the 4th type of consciousness. Then from number 5 to 8, these types of consciousness should be understood in the same way as the preceding 4, but with neutral feeling instead of joy feeling. Now, these 8 types of consciousness are called wholesome or meritorious because they inhibit the defilements and produce good results. When this consciousness arises in our mind, there are no unwholesome mental states in our mind. So they are said to inhibit the unwholesome mental states or defilements, and they produce good results. They arise in worldlings and trainees, sikha. So these kusala cetas arise in worldlings, putujanas, that means unenlightened persons, and also trainees, sikha. Who are those trainees? Read on. Noble disciples at the 3 lower stages of stream enterer, once returner, and non-returner. Now there are 4 stages of enlightenment, right? What are the 4? Stream, say let us use the term here. Stream enterer, once returner, non-returner, and arahant. Right? 4 stages. So trainees means those who have attained any one of these 3 stages. They are called trainees. It's strange that they are enlightened persons, but they are called trainees. Sekha, because they are still learning. They have still something to do to get rid of mental defilements altogether. So they are called trainees. Now these 8 types of consciousness arise in non-enlightened persons and also these 3 kinds of enlightened persons. But they do not arise in the arahants. In the arahants they arise, but they are not called kusala. We'll come to that later. So whenever we perform some meritorious deed, by body or by speech or just in the mind, there arises one of these 8 types of consciousness. Now you are learning Abhidhamma and I am teaching Abhidhamma. What type of consciousness would it be? Are you happy or are you not? Yeah? If you are happy, then the first.
Pleasant.
Right? Jnana, with knowledge, yes, with knowledge. Jnana samyutta. And do you have to prompt yourself to come here?
Sometimes.
So it could be unprompted or prompted. Okay. So these types of consciousness, one of these types of consciousness, say, arises in our mind at the moments of, say, learning and teaching Abhidhamma. These stages do not arise in arahants, whose actions are without karmic potency. So they do not arise in as kusala, they do not arise in arahants. Arahants mean both Buddhas and arahants, Pachika Buddhas and arahants. Now the second group, Sahetuka Kama Vajara Vipaka Citta. It is not plain Kama Vajara Vipaka Citta, but Sahetuka. Why? Because among the 18 rootless consciousness, there are Vipaka Citas, right? They are Kama Vajra and Vipaka, but they are without roots. So in order to differentiate them from the Ahetukas, here we have to use the word Sahetuka. If we don't say Sahetuka here, Kama Vajra Vipaka may mean these 8 Citas or the 8 Citas among the 18 rootless consciousness. So we have to, if we want to specifically mean these 8, we have to use the word Sahetuka. Sahetuka Kama Vajra Vipaka. You know the word Kama Vajra now, and Vipaka also you know, right? Vipaka means resultant consciousness, which ripen. There are 8 types of Kama Sahetuka Kama Vajra Vipaka consciousness. Now these are the results of above 8 Kama Vajra Kusala Citas. And these arise in sensuous realms only. Now, Kama Vajra Kusala Citas may arise in the minds of Brahmas, may arise in form sphere realms and formless sphere realms. But these 8 never arise in other realms. Other realms mean form realm or formless realm. They arise only in Kama Vajra, sensuous realm. These 8, because they are the result of the 8 Kusala Cetas. So these Sahituka Kama Vajra Vibhaga Cetas arise only in sensuous realms. But the Kama Vajra Kusala Cetas can arise both in sensuous realms and other realms. Other realms means form and formless realms. So that is the difference.
Because there's karmic action in the sense sphere realm and not in the other realms, and so there's no resultant consciousness in the other realms.
They are themselves resultant consciousness, right? So they have no karmic power.
Right.
They cannot give results. They are results themselves. And they are the result of the 8 Kama Vajra Kusala Cetas. And they arise in Kama Vajra realm only, in sensuous realm only, and not in Rupa Vajra and Arupa Vajra realm. So they are 8. And then the next group, Sahituka Kama Vajra Kiriya Citta. Now here also we have to use Sahituka because there are Ahituka Kiriya Cittas. How many Ahituka Kiriya Cittas are there? 3, only 3, right? 5 sense door adverting, mind door adverting, smile producing, right? So if we want to specify these cetas only, we say Sahituka Kama Vajra Kiriya Citta. If we do not say Sahituka, they may mean those 3 also. So we have the Sahituka. So they are with roots. So here roots means 3 Sobana roots, 3 beautiful roots. They are also the same as Kama Vajra Kusala Cetas, 8 types of consciousness. And where do they arise? They arise in Arahants, Buddhas and Arahants only. Buddhas, Pachika Buddhas and Arahants only. Actually, these 8 Kiriya Cetas are identical with 8 Kusala Cetas. Now, when an Arahant does a meritorious deed, say practices charity or practices sila, the same type of consciousness arises in his mind, maybe accompanied by some pleasurable feeling and with jnana, with knowledge. But his citta lacks karmic power, lacks the power to give results. So his citta is called Kiriya Citta, functional. It functions as a citta and then it disappears. It did not leave any potential to give results. So that is the difference between Kusala consciousness and Kiriya consciousness. Why do they not have this potential, or why do they not have the ability to give results? Because the Buddhas and Arahants have destroyed moha, ignorance, and tanha, craving. So Buddhas and Arahants have no moha, no ignorance to cover their eyes with eyes of wisdom, and they have no attachment, so that they are not attached to anything, and not attached to results and so on. And so their X becomes just X. Now their consciousness becomes just consciousness, arising and disappearing, just this, doing just this simple function, and not any power to give results. So that is why their cetas are called kiriya cetas. Kiriya, literally translated, means doing. The doing means just arising and then disappears. So they merely arise, accomplish some function, and then fall away without residue. Okay, now we get altogether 24 Kama Vajara Sobhana Cetas. Now, the circles at the beginning of lines, I want you to put in the colors from the chart, also on these sheets, so that you always know the colors. So the first 4 should be what color? Red color, and the second 4, blue color. Right. So 4 are accompanied by pleasurable feeling, and the other 4 neutral or indifferent feeling. Yes. Now, why are there 8 Kama Vajara Kusala Cetas, 8 Sahitika Kama Vajara Vipaka Cetas, and 8 Sahitika Kama Vajara Kiriya Cetas? Why are there 8 instead of 1? Because consciousness as the awareness of an object is just 1. But this consciousness can become here 8, depending on which feeling it arises with, whether it is accompanied by knowledge or not, and whether it arises being prompted or not. So these 3 things, let us call them differentiating factors. In this book, the word dichotomy is used. It's a big word. So, differentiating factor. There are 3 differentiating factors here. Feeling, and then let's say knowledge, and prompting. So, with regard to feeling, there are the Kusala Ceta becomes 2. And these 2, with regard to being with knowledge and without knowledge, they become 4. And these 4, with regard to being prompted and unprompted, become 8. So this means 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. So you get 8 types of consciousness. So just one consciousness becomes 8 types of consciousness, depending on these 3 differentiating factors. In the Akusala Cetas also, we have the same, right? Feeling, and there wrong view instead of knowledge, and then prompted and unprompted. So these are the 3 differentiating factors. Because of these 3, there are 8 Kama Vajara Kusala Cetas, 8 Kama Vajara Vipaka Cetas, and 8 Kama Vajara Kiriya Cetas. Now, if you look at on page 51, there is a kind of making you more familiar with these types of consciousness. So all types of consciousness experience in the sense sphere, total 54. So those types of consciousness that arise mostly in sense sphere realms are 54, right? Yeah, 54. So, can you count those 54? 12 akusala cetas, 18 ahituka cetas, and 24 amavajara sobhana cetas. So altogether 54. So these 54 types of consciousness arise in beings in the 11 sensuous realms. Now, these Kamavajara Kusala, Vipaka and Kriya Cetas are also called Maha Kusala, Maha Vipaka and Maha Kriya. Nobody knows for certain why they are called Maha. So one author gives one explanation and another author gives another explanation. But at least we must understand that they are called Maha Kusala, Maha Vipaka and Maha Kriya. Later on, they may be referred to as Maha Kusala and so on. So please note this. Some say that because there are 8, or altogether 24, they are greater in number, and so they are called Maha. Maha means great, big. So 8 Kusala, 8 Vipaka, and 8 Kriya. Now, here, by way of kind means by way of their nature, or by way of genus. That means wholesome, unwholesome, and what? Resultant. So, among the 54, how many are wholesome? Wholesome. Wholesome, kusala. Right. Only 8, right? 8 are wholesome. How many are unwholesome? 12. Right. Then how many are resultants? 7, 8, and then 8. 7, 8, 8. How many? 23. Right? So 23 are resultants. 7 unwholesome resultants, 8 rootless wholesome resultants, and 8 wholesome resultants with roots. So here they are called great Maha. Okay, what about the Kriyas? Functional. How many functional cetas? 3 from the 18 and 8 from the Kama Vajra Sovana. So 3 plus 8, 11. So 11 functional cetas. Altogether we get 54. So let's say it again. How many kusala? 8. How many akusala? 12. How many resultants? 23. And how many Kriyas function? 11. So we get altogether 54 types of Kama Vajra consciousness. So that is counting by way of kind, by way of genus. Now by way of feeling, how many are accompanied by Somanasa feeling? How many by Upekha feeling? How many by Domanasa feeling, displeasure? How many by Dukkha, and how many by Sukha? Right? Okay. Now how many by Somanasa feeling, pleasurable feeling? You take the red ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 18 are accompanied by pleasurable feeling, somanasa feeling. How many are accompanied by neutral feeling, I mean indifferent feeling?
Like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So 32 types of consciousness are accompanied by indifferent feeling, neutral feeling. Okay. And then here it is a two with displeasure. Which are the two? Two green dots. And then one with pleasure, that means sukha. Red cross. And one with pain, green cross. So according to feelings, we divide the 54 sense sphere consciousness this way. Again, how many with somanasa? 18. So you know which ones to pick up, right? You pick up the red ones. And how many with indifferent feeling? 32. You pick up blue ones. And then how many with displeasure? 2 green ones. And how many with pleasure, bodily pleasure? 1. Which one? And then how many with pain? 1. Okay. Then, what is next? By way of association with knowledge and view. So which are associated, which are not associated, and which are neither associated nor not associated. Now, associated means associated with wrong view and also associated with knowledge. So, how many does it say here? 16 associated. Can you pick them up from the chart? Now, with wrong view and with knowledge, you must pick up. With wrong view, and then, right? Yeah. And then, with knowledge, yeah. How many?
16 to 11.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But it says 16.
16.
We are the two groups.
Wow.
Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. And how many dissociated? Not associated. 16. Right? Yeah. Right? And then, yes. And then, those that are neither associated nor dissociated, the remaining 22, they are not called either associated or not associated. And then by way of prompting, which are the prompted and which are the unprompted? The unprompted, 17. Right. Yeah. Right. And 17 prompted. Second one is right. And 20 neither. Rootless and deluded. So those are Those are not said to be prompted or unprompted. So in this way, we try to be familiar with the 54 types of consciousness. And when we first learn these things, we have to do it at night without lights. And we have to do it memorized, not looking at anything. So we memorize the Pali, and then saying the Pali passages, so we try to find out which one is prompted, which one is unprompted, and so on. So the traditional monastic way of teaching Abhidhamma urges students not only to reflect on these lists, but to know them well by heart. You are not monks. It's okay. They are very important when one studies the mental factors comprised in these types of chetas. That's expounded in the next chapter in Abhidhamma. So, even though if you cannot remember, if you cannot take them by heart, you should be able to look at the chart and say which is which. Because when we come to the second chapter and we say a particular cheta, a particular cetasika arises with so many chetas, then you will have to find out the chetas here. For example, see about the initial application, Vittaka. Now, Vittaka arises with 55 chetas. Then you have to find out 55 chetas from this list. So if you are not familiar with this list, either you have memorized it or you have the chart with you. If you cannot identify them, then you will be confused. And once confused, then the next step also will be confused, and so on and so on, and you will lose interest. So at least, please be familiar with this chart and keep this chart always with you. I think we can go a little further into Rupa Vajra types of consciousness. Now, Rupa Vajra Cheta 15. Oh, wait a minute. Please look at the note I've given you the other day. On the sheet with a mango simile. Causes for being jnana sampayutta. Causes for being jnana sampayutta. Causes for the consciousness with knowledge to arise. To some people, consciousness with knowledge arises more frequently than to other people. Why? Some has more consciousness accompanied by knowledge than others. Now, this note explains that. Now, the jnana sampayutta, or consciousness accompanied by knowledge, arises because of these causes. Now, number one is what? Karma done in the past, which is conducive to possessing wisdom. Now that means sometimes when you do a meritorious deed, you may make a wish that may I be a wise person, may I have wisdom in the future, something like that. So if you did a meritorious deed with this kind of aspiration, this kind of wish, then in your future lives, the consciousness, your kusala consciousness will be mostly accompanied by knowledge. And also, if you help spread the teachings, or if you make donations for spreading the Dharma, or if you do teaching, then that is also a karma which is conducive to possessing wisdom in the future. So, because of such karma in the past, you may have more frequently consciousness accompanied by knowledge. And the next cause is rebirth in Rupa Loka. That means rebirth as Brahmas, which is a world free from ill will. Now, it is said that Brahmas have no ill will, no anger. Now, anger is one mental state which weakens the understanding, the knowledge. So, if you want to be a wise man, if you want to have knowledge, you have to control your anger. Don't have anger too often. If you are angry too often, then it makes your knowledge weak, and so you will not get knowledge much. Now, in the Brahma Loka, there is no ill will, no anger, and also the conditions are much better in their realms than in the human realm, and so these Brahmas tend to get consciousness accompanied by knowledge more often than the other beings. Number 3, maturity of mental faculties. Now there are what we call mental faculties: confidence, effort, right effort. Next what? Mindfulness, and then 4th, concentration, and 5th, wisdom again. So when they are called faculties. When these faculties become mature, then you tend to get consciousness accompanied by knowledge. When do they become mature? Look at the 10 decades in the life of a man. Now, the life of a human being is divided into 10 decades, taking that a man would live 100 years. You may not live 100 years, but it is the lifespan at the time of the Buddha, and I think it still is now. So, a life of a human being is divided into 10 segments, 10 decades. The first is called what? Tender decade. That means you are weak, because from your birth to 10 years of age, you are just a child, and so you are weak. And then the second is what? Sport. That means joy or happiness. You have fun during these years, teenage years, from 11 to 20. And then 3, the decade of beauty. So your beauty blooms during that time. So from 20 to 30 is the best time for people to become beautiful. Number 4, strength. So from 30 to 40, you gain more strength to become more strong. And from now, what? From 40 to 50 is the decade of wisdom. So it is said that if you reach the age of 40 and up to 50, so that is a time that your faculty of wisdom matures, and so whatever you think that you get good answers, and you have this kind of penetrating knowledge. So this is the decade of wisdom, from 40 to 50. Now, how about you? have you come into that age range or not yet? If you are not yet, it's good. So you have hope that I'll become more mature and so I will have more wisdom when I get to be 40 and 50. Number 6, decline. Oh, it's not good. From 50 to 60 is a decline. Decline in bodily strength as well as mental strength. So you tend to forget many things, and you also become weak and so on. And then number 7, stooping. Oh, you are stooping like this. Yeah, you have become an old man now. So, and then number 8, not only stooping, now you are bent. You may have seen some people really bent, getting hold of a stick and walking like this. And number 9, more muha, senile. So during that decade, you don't remember much, and you don't know what you are doing, like dotage and others. And number 10, you lie on bed, ready to die. So these are the 10 decades of a human being. And the course number 3, maturity of mental faculties, means during the 5th decade, the decade of wisdom. So from 50 to 60, I mean, from 40 to 50 is the best time, not just to learn, best time to teach, to write a book, something like that. Number 4, distance from mental defilements due to meditation. Now, if you want to be knowledgeable, if you want to be intelligent, now, let mental defilements be away from your mind. You can keep them away by meditation. You can totally destroy them by meditation. So if you cannot totally destroy them, still you can keep them away from your mind. So it is important. So if you want to get more jnana, more consciousness accompanied by knowledge, practice meditation, so that mental defilements won't come to you for some time. So both meditation, both tranquility meditation and vipassana meditation. And the last one is rebirth with 3 wholesome roots. Now, the 8 vipaka chetas we have just studied. Now, these 8 vipaka chetas function as rebirth consciousness for, say, human beings, and for those born in 4 vocal states, and for those born as celestial beings. So these 8 types of consciousness, one for each being, one for one being. So these 8 types of consciousness function as relinking consciousness or rebirth consciousness. Now we will meet them again in the 3rd chapter. Now, rebirth with 3 wholesome roots means if your rebirth consciousness is number 1, number 2, and then number 5, number 6, then you are reborn with 3 wholesome roots. So if you are reborn with one of these 4 vipaka chetas, then we tend to get more consciousness accompanied by knowledge, accompanied by wisdom. But that's already the result of karma, and you cannot do anything about it in life. So these are the causes, say, for a consciousness being accompanied by knowledge or not accompanied by knowledge. Next is Rupa Vajra. We don't have much time for Rupa Vajra. Rupa Vajra Chetas are, we may call them higher states of consciousness, because they are not experienced by those who do not practice meditation. So they are not experienced by the ordinary persons. I don't mean Putujana, but the ordinary persons. And these Rupa Vajra Chetas arise mostly in the Rupa realm, the form sphere realm. There are 15 form sphere realms where these types of consciousness arise frequently. And as usual, we are not to understand that these arise only in Rupa Vajra realms, because they arise in human realms also, they arise in celestial realms also. But their main domain for their arising is the 15 Rupa Vajra realms. And these Chetas are called Jhana Chetas, right? Jhana Chetas. So Jhana is a difficult word to translate. Some people translate it as ecstasy, and some translate it as just meditation, and some as absorption. But none of these can really mean the same thing as the word jhana. So it is better to use the word jhana when referring to these types of consciousness than using the English translation, because we cannot have an accurate and adequate translation of this word. And so if we use English words only, it's open to misunderstanding. So it is better to use the word jhana. So the word jhana is Pali word, and the Sanskrit, its Sanskrit equivalent is dhyana, D-H-Y-A-N-A. You may have met that word in your readings. So in Sanskrit it is called dhyana, and in Pali we have jhana. So there will be first jhana consciousness, second jhana consciousness, third, fourth, fifth jhana consciousness. So the word jhana is derived from the Pali root j, meaning to contemplate and to burn up. Now most words in Pali and in Sanskrit are derived from what are called roots. In English also you have roots, there's Latin roots, Greek roots, what else? Greek roots also, right? Yeah. So in Sanskrit and Pali also, many words are derived from roots. Now this Pali word jhana is said to have derived from the root j. It has a meaning of to contemplate means to look closely and to burn up. So it has two meanings in Pali, the root j. And both meanings are applied here, applied to this type of consciousness. Thus the jhanas are so called because they closely contemplate the object. So when you get to jhana, your mind is as it were stuck to the object. You are closely observing the object. And because they burn up the adverse states opposed to concentration. Now there are these opposite states called mental hindrances. And these jhanas are said to burn these mental hindrances. That means they don't let these mental hindrances arise. So when you are in jhana, these mental hindrances cannot arise in your mind. So they are said to burn up the mental hindrances, which are adverse states opposed to concentration. And these 5 hindrances are called nivarana in Pali. And they are 5, right? On the sheets. They are on the sheets. So how many of them are there? 5 hindrances. You need to know these 5 hindrances, because we'll have to refer to it again later. So what are these 5 hindrances? Sensual desire. That means desire for sense objects. Not necessarily sensual, but desire for sense objects. You want to see something, you want to hear something, you are attached to something you have seen, you are attached to some sound, so that is sensual desire. And second one is ill will. Ill will means anger, hate, depression, worry, anxiety. All these are included in ill will. And then the third one is actually 2, sloth and torpor. Sloth is one thing and torpor is another, but they are taken as one mental hindrance here. These are all mental factors, and so we will meet them in 2nd chapter. And then the next one is also a combination of 2, restlessness and worry. Now, I took it from the comprehensive manual, so the word worry is used there. I prefer the word remorse rather than worry. So restlessness and remorse, although they are two separate mental states, they are said to be one mental hindrance here. So that one mental hindrance. And the last one is doubt about the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha and so on. So these are called 5 mental hindrances, because they hinder concentration, they hinder jhana, they are obstacles to concentration and jhana. So they are called hindrances. The jhana consciousness, or rather the jhana factors, inhibit these 5 mental hindrances. We'll come to that later. Okay. Now, what happens when a jhana consciousness arises? Or what must we do if we want to have jhana consciousness? In order to get a jhana consciousness, we must practice what is called samatha meditation, tranquility meditation. There are 40 subjects of tranquility meditation. Some subjects cannot help us to get jhana, but there are many others that can help us to get jhana. Now the most popular subjects are the kasinas. Kasinas means, let's say, discs. Discs of earth, or of water, of fire, of air, and also of color. Blue, yellow, red, and white. In order to develop jhana, you practice kasina meditation. Let us say just kasina meditation. We can practice other meditations too. So when you practice kasina meditation, you first try to get a disc, or you make a disc for yourself. A disc about 9 inches or 10 inches in diameter, a round one, with clay. If you want to make an earth kasina, you find some clay and then make it in put the clay on the frame, see, on the clock or something, and then you look at that many times or many hours. So you put that disc in front of you, not too close and not too far, and just the right position. Because if it is too high, then you'll get pain in your neck. Also, if it's too low, so, at the right position, you put it, and then you try to concentrate totally on that disc, and you do not pay attention to any other objects. Your wanderings or whatever. You do not pay attention to that. You try to put your mind totally on the kasina. The word kasina means total, whole. So that means your mind should be on the whole of the kasina. And then you must memorize it actually. So you look at that disc, let's say it is an earth kasina. So you look at the earth kasina, and then you say earth, thousands and thousands of times. And then you try to memorize it. You close your eyes and see whether you can see with your eyes closed. If you can, you just close your eyes and try to see that image. And if it disappears, you open your eyes again and then memorize it. So this way, you open your eyes and then close them, and open your eyes and close them, and memorize the image. Now, when you can see the image with your eyes closed, you are said to have got the grasped sign. In the book it's called learning sign, but I don't like that word, learning sign. The Pali word uggaha means to pick up here, to pick up, or say to hold on to grasp. That means you have grasped this sign, you have got this sign in your mind. So when you get this sign, you are able to see with your eyes closed. I mean, you are able to see that image with your eyes closed. So that image is actually a concept. It is not reality anymore, because when you look at it, it is called reality. But since you have got the image in your mind, it becomes a concept. So after getting that concept, after getting that sign, you may dispose of the kasina object. And you can practice anywhere at that time, because the object is in your mind, and so you can practice anywhere. So you try to practice again, concentrating on that mental image again and again and again, and the hindrances will become less and less and less, or they will be inhibited, they will be suppressed. And so like the dirt in the water settling down, so they will settle down, and so your mind will become clearer and clearer. So as your mind becomes clearer and clearer, the image also becomes clear. Now, the first image you get, which is called the grasped sign, appears to you as it is. If there are some defects on the disc, you will see those defects in your mind. Sometimes you have to make it with your hand, and so there may be some impressions of your finger or whatever on the disc. It may not be very smooth. So in the first stage of grasped sign, you will see the sign in your mind with those defects. But as your mind becomes clearer and clearer, the disc also becomes clearer and clearer, and those defects will disappear. And just the pure, let's say, like a polished mirror, sign will appear in your mind. And that sign is called counterpart sign. Or we may say identical sign. So the counterpart sign. After you get counterpart sign, you practice concentration or meditation on that sign. Just seeing it in your mind and then saying so now your mind has become clear and the mental hindrances have settled down, and so at one time the jhana consciousness will arise in your mind. And when the jhana consciousness arises in your mind is on that counterpart sign, firmly grasped that counterpart sign. So that type of consciousness is called jhana consciousness. It is not the kama vajra consciousness. It is rupa vajra consciousness. So that's why it is. We can call it a higher state of consciousness. And that kind of consciousness, or the jhana consciousness, can be of 5 kinds. So we have 5 jhana consciousnesses. And they are described in this book or in this manual by their respective jhana factors. The first jhana has or is accompanied by how many factors? Vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata. 5 jhana factors. And the second jhana accompanied by 4 jhana factors. The third accompanied by 3 jhana factors. Fourth accompanied by 2 jhana factors. And fifth accompanied by 2 jhana factors. So there are said to be 5 jhanas. One, the succeeding one, higher than or better than the previous one. So the lowest of the jhanas is the first one. And then comes second jhana, higher, third jhana, higher, and so on. In the texts, jhanas are not described by all these factors. They are described in another way. I'll give you those texts next time. But here in Abhidhamma and in this manual, the jhanas are described with reference to the factors of jhana they arise with. So the first jhana is accompanied by 5 jhana factors. Now, we have to understand 3 things clearly here when we talk about jhana, and also when we talk about magga later. Jhana factor, jhana consciousness, these 3. What we mean by jhana, what by jhana factor, and what by jhana consciousness. We must clearly understand this. Now, jhana means the combination of these factors. 5 factors, 3, 2, 5 factors, 4, 3, 2, 2. So a group of these 5 factors, of 4, 3, 2 factors, is called a jhana. So jhana is a compound noun, like the word group or association or something like that. So the group of 5 factors, etc., are called jhana. And each one of these factors are called jhana factors. And the type of consciousness which is accompanied by these factors is called jhana consciousness. So there are these three terms very clearly defined. Jhana, jhana factor, and jhana consciousness. Okay, what is jhana? Group of factors, group of jhana factors. And what is jhana factor? The visual factors. And what is jhana consciousness? Consciousness accompanied by these five. Now you are members of associations. So when you come together, you are an association. But each one of you is a member. So each one of you is like jhana factor. And your combined association is jhana, something like that. So jhana factor, and jhana consciousness. Sometimes we are not precise in using the word jhana. So sometimes we may just call consciousness jhana. But actually, technically speaking, jhana means the combination of the factors or mental states. And jhana citta means, jhana consciousness means consciousness accompanied by jhana. So the first jhana is accompanied by vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, and ekaggata. Sahita means together with. So the first jhana is accompanied by these five factors, and we will have occasion to study these factors again in the second chapter, because they are mental factors, they are cetasikas. Okay. So we'll do it next time.
See that in Myanmar, the Pali is different, I think, from Burmese. Because in the Kamawachara Kusuma, it uses sake to the Kamawachara. So in the Burmese, in the Kusuma, there is not sake to the. Because I got the Burmese. Yeah, you will be there, because I have transcribed the transcribed the Burmese in English.